Hello. In the year 2017 to 2018, an estimated 49 million people came down with the flu illness. 960,000 of these patients ended up in the hospital, and 79,000 patients perished because of the flu illness. I am here to talk to you today about the benefits of getting the flu vaccine. I'm a current healthcare worker and have been for the last 7 years. I work in an OBGYN clinic. I deal with high-risk pregnant women, and I administer the flu vaccine to them as well as myself and others. I'm pro-vaccine. My children are vaccinated, and I get the flu shot every year. And I'm here today to tell you that the flu vaccine is safe. And you should get the flu vaccine to prevent yourself from getting the flu virus, spreading it to others, and potentially saving your life. Imagine being in a cold doctor's office, sitting, waiting. You don't like needles. You know, you're anticipating this horrible shot. But I'm here to tell you that it's super quick. It's less than 3 seconds, and it's done. Aside from that, you cannot get the flu from the flu vaccine. This is a myth. I'm here today to tell you that you cannot get the flu from the flu vaccine because it's a dead virus. We inject it intramuscularly, and if perhaps you do get sick, then your body was coincidentally fighting off probably another illness or virus at the same time, and it had been working itself up. You cannot get the flu from a dead flu virus. I just want to make that very clear. That's not to say that there are not side effects, and there can be side effects, and some people do have side effects, and that's why healthcare workers go over potential side effects and consent forms, and definitely let patients know the risks and the benefits. So I'm here to talk to you today about a couple benefits from getting the flu vaccine. The first benefit of getting the flu vaccine is pretty obvious, but it's just to protect yourself and to protect others. So the flu can be very deadly. It may not be deadly to you, but it could be deadly to your parents or your grandparents or maybe a small baby. So by protecting yourself, you're protecting others, and that's just how vaccines work. And according to the World Health Organization, the flu vaccine has prevented 2 to 3 million cases of the flu each year. So it's very important to get the flu vaccine to potentially stop the spread to others. In a world of COVID, the flu vaccine is even more important. We're in a pandemic right now, and the flu vaccine is something that occurs usually every fall, and it's very important this year. It's very important to not have the stress on the healthcare system, not have the stress of flu hospitalizations to make room for COVID patients, not have the stress in primary care practices for flu illnesses to make room for what we're going through right now. So by getting the flu vaccine, you are helping de-stress the healthcare system by limiting your potential exposure and contracting the illness. I'm going to talk to you about, just for a minute, how the flu vaccine works. So when you get the flu vaccine, suppose I give it to a patient. That patient initially develops what's called antibodies. Now this could take up to about 2 weeks to process. Antibodies are little fighting warriors in your body. There could be up to, I'll just break it down a little like layman's terms. Say there's 3 different types of warriors out there. Say there's scissors, say there's a pencil, or say there's a needle. Well, say I give the vaccine to a patient and that patient's particular body produces the best of the pencils. So the pencils will be the best antibody for that patient's fighting system. So the next 2 weeks, that patient's body will develop lots and lots and lots of pencils because the pencils won. The pencils beat out the needle and the pencils beat out the scissors. So the pencil won. The pencil's working very fervently to just develop as quick as it can the antibodies to protect that patient from getting the flu. So what's happening is the dead virus is injected into the patient, and the antibodies, the pencil in this patient wins. So after 2 weeks time frame, pencil won, and say the person goes out and gets exposed to the flu, well, there's lots of pencils that have been working extremely hard. So if that patient is exposed to the flu, those pencils have built up and are ready to fight. Now, that's not to say that that patient will not get the flu. I personally have had the flu vaccine and had the flu. However, with a lot more pencils, you have a lot more fighting chances, and you may not get the flu as hard as if you didn't have any pencils at all. So that patient's protected. That patient may not be protected completely from the flu, but that patient is very well off to have more pencils than 0 pencils. And that's just kind of like an analogy I can use to help others understand the antibodies that are produced when we administer a vaccine. Another reason to get the flu shot is herd immunity. There are people in our population that cannot get the vaccine because they may be immune suppressed, they're too young, they're too weak, and they just can't handle it for various reasons. So the more of the population that has these antibodies and can fight the flu off, the less chance that there is for it to spread and infect others and potentially kill and spread on and do its harm. So it is very important to get your flu vaccine. It takes less than 3 seconds. It's might be a little sore, but it's well worth it. And should you come down with the flu, like I said, the pencils, having more pencils than none are better. So I am just here to hopefully you guys will go out and get the flu vaccine and not be so scared. And in this pandemic, it's very important. We cannot have the healthcare system flooded with flu patients. We need to make room for the COVID patients. And side note, yes, I will be getting the COVID vaccine. I'm not scared about it. I believe in science. I believe in medicine. And I'm ready to get back to a normal life. So I will be first in line and ready to go. So just want to let you guys know that there is so much more benefit to get this than there is to not. All right.